Hey folks, this is a video that just is simply going to go through the definitions and the theorems in section 12.2 and do a little bit of explaining. The altitudes of a triangle are going to be segments that extend from a vertex of the triangle, and they're going to extend to the perpendicular opposite side. So an example of this might be something like if this is the vertex here that I choose, I want to extend to the perpendicular opposite side. All right, so you can tell there that I've tried to draw an angle that is perpendicular to the opposite side. The medians of a triangle are going to be segments that extend, again, from a vertex of the triangle, but this time they're going to go to the midpoint of the opposite side, to the midpoint of the opposite side. So this one might look something like the following. If maybe this is my midpoint, then I'm going to extend from the vertex to the midpoint of the opposite side. Then we go into the distance formula. This one is important. You will see this on a test and possibly the exam. The distance, and when I say that you'll see it, you will be having to use it on your test, not necessarily just spit it out to me, but you'll have to use it. The distance formula for finding the distance between 2 points, 2 coordinates, let's name those coordinate AB and coordinate CD. This is going to be a big square root, and the first piece of that square root is going to be my x values subtracted, and once they're subtracted, we're going to square that difference. And then to that, we're going to add the y values subtracted, and we will square that difference. The midpoint formula, so if I wanted to find the midpoint between the same 2 coordinates AB and CD, I want you to think about averages. Like if I said, how do you average 2 quizzes together? You would say you're going to add them and divide by 2. That's exactly what you do for the midpoint. So for the x piece of my midpoint, we're going to add our x values and divide by 2. And then for the y piece, you're going to add your y values and divide by 2. For the slope formula, you're going to, again, for the same 2 coordinates, slope formula is going to be the y values subtracted on top, divided by the x values subtracted on the bottom. Another word, another phrase for slope might be rise over run. Perpendicular slope is always going to be the negative or the opposite reciprocal. So think about reciprocal. That's where you take a fraction and you flip it over. And so this is always going to be the negative reciprocal or the opposite reciprocal. Opposite there saying from pos to neg or from neg to pos. The mid segment of a triangle is a segment that connects 2 midpoints. So let's say here that I have a midpoint right here and I have a midpoint right here. The mid segment would connect those 2 points. That's a mid segment.